why some people thrive in their 90s, and how you can too. Why do some people remain strong, joyful, and independent well into their 90s, while others begin to face health issues much earlier? While genetics play a part, the real difference often lies in daily habits. The choices we make each day, what we eat, how we move, how we think, have a lasting impact on how we age. Many people unknowingly adopt habits that slowly wear down their health, energy, and emotional well-being. If you hope not just to live longer but to live better, it's essential to avoid certain lifestyle mistakes that can make the later years more difficult than they need to be. In this video, we'll explore 7 common habits that accelerate aging and reduce quality of life. Some may surprise you. Others might feel familiar. But knowing them gives you the power to make meaningful change. Make sure to stay with us to the end. The final point is something almost everyone does without realizing how harmful it is. By recognizing and adjusting these habits, you'll build a path toward a more vibrant, independent, and peaceful future. Let's begin. Number 1. Neglecting mental and emotional well-being, the quiet undercurrent of decline. When we talk about aging well, most conversations revolve around physical health. Diet, exercise, medications, checkups. But there's another dimension that is just as important and often overlooked: your inner world. Mental and emotional well-being is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And neglecting it can quietly impact your energy, relationships, memory, and even your physical health in profound ways. As we grow older, life naturally brings changes. Retirement, shifting roles, the loss of loved ones, and sometimes a slower pace of daily life. If we're not mindful, these transitions can lead to feelings of loneliness, sadness, irritability, or a deep sense of loss of purpose. Many people dismiss these feelings, thinking it's just part of getting older. But that's not true. Emotional heaviness is not a requirement of aging. It's a signal, a message that something inside is asking to be seen and cared for. Take the example of Eleanor, 81, who began to feel increasingly withdrawn after her husband passed away. She stayed physically healthy, but inside she felt hollow. Her days blurred together. It wasn't until a gentle neighbor invited her to a weekly journaling circle at the library that things began to shift. She found not only a space to express herself, but a sense of connection, belonging, and renewed emotional vitality. That's the quiet power of tending to your inner life. On the other hand, mental stimulation and emotional expression have been shown to improve brain health, reduce the risk of dementia, and elevate mood. Engaging in hobbies, expressing gratitude, nurturing relationships, and even light meditation can help bring joy, clarity, and peace into your daily rhythm. So what can you do? Feed your mind. Read, learn something new, try a puzzle, or take an online class. Nourish your heart. Talk to someone you trust, join a group, or write about your experiences. Process your emotions. It's okay to feel grief, fear, or frustration. What matters is that you acknowledge them and give them space to move through. Practice presence. Even a few quiet minutes a day spent in stillness or reflection can shift your entire outlook. If you're struggling emotionally, please know that you're not alone, and support is available through friends, counselors, community groups, or spiritual spaces. Asking for help isn't a weakness. It's a wise and courageous act of self-respect. Because here's the truth, your peace of mind matters. And it's never too late to feel more at ease, more grounded, more connected to yourself and others. Number 2. Neglecting social connection, the silent threat to longevity. When we talk about aging well, our minds often go first to exercise, nutrition, or managing medications. But one of the most dangerous threats to long life and good health isn't physical, it's social. As we get older, it's easy, almost natural, to slowly drift into isolation. Maybe retirement reduces daily interaction. Maybe old friends move away or pass on. Sometimes health issues or simple fatigue make it feel easier to stay home. The change happens gradually, quietly. And before we realize it, whole days go by without meaningful conversation, laughter, or shared presence. And yet, human connection is not optional, it is vital. Research has shown that chronic loneliness can be just as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, raises the risk of heart disease, and accelerates cognitive decline. It even shortens life expectancy. But perhaps more than anything, isolation steals something less measurable but deeply important: a sense of belonging, a sense of being seen, heard, and valued. Take the story of Richard, a 75-year-old man who, after decades of active professional life, found himself adrift in retirement. At first, the quiet was welcome. But as weeks turned into months, he stopped calling friends, stopped going out, and told himself he didn't need company. But over time, his mind felt foggier, his motivation waned, and his energy dwindled. It wasn't until his doctor gently pointed it out that he realized he wasn't just aging, he was withdrawing. Contrast that with Barbara, 78, who made connection a priority. She joined a walking group, had regular coffee dates with old friends, and even picked up painting at the local community center. She wasn't trying to stay young, she was simply staying engaged. The result? Her memory stayed sharp, her stress levels low, and her spirit light. Studies confirm what Barbara lived out. Seniors who maintain strong social ties enjoy better brain health, fewer health complications, and a deeper sense of emotional well-being. So how do you protect yourself from the slow drift of isolation? It starts with a conscious choice, a gentle but deliberate decision to stay connected. Pick up the phone and call an old friend. Join a local club, church group, or community class. Schedule a regular lunch or walk with someone you trust. Try something new, a hobby, a volunteer role, or even an online discussion group. Even small interactions, brief conversations at the store, chatting with neighbors, a warm exchange over a video call, can nourish your spirit in surprising ways. And with today's technology, you don't have to let distance be a barrier. Connection can happen across the street or across the country. The truth is this: staying socially active is just as important as staying physically active. And if your goal is to live not just long but well, feeling alert, connected, and alive, then building and nurturing relationships isn't just a nice bonus. It's essential. And as we prepare to explore the next point, remember, even strong relationships can't protect your health if you're still making the next mistake. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear from you. Just comment number 2 below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss a message meant to support and uplift you. Let's continue, because your best years are still unfolding. Number 3. Neglecting strength and mobility, a costly mistake. One of the most common and perhaps most underestimated mistakes many older adults make is quietly giving up on movement that truly strengthens the body. We're often told that slowing down is simply a natural part of aging. And yes, it's true that the body changes with time. But too many people interpret that to mean they should stop challenging their muscles or maintaining their flexibility. That's where real trouble begins. Here's the truth: weak muscles, stiff joints, and a loss of balance are not always inevitable signs of age. More often, they're signs of inactivity. And the longer we go without addressing them, the more independence quietly slips away, until one day the simplest things become hard. Rising from a chair, walking across the room, stepping into the shower, climbing the stairs. You might not notice the change overnight. But day by day the loss accumulates. Science tells us that beginning as early as our 30s, we lose around 3 to 5% of our muscle mass with each passing decade, unless we actively work to maintain it. By the time we're in our 70s or 80s, this can dramatically affect how we move, how safe we feel, and how free we are to live on our own terms. And it's not just about strength. Reduced muscle mass and poor balance increase the risk of falls, a leading cause of hospitalization among older adults. A single fall can change everything. Let me tell you about someone I knew. Let's call him Harold. He was 74, retired, and enjoyed working around the house and tending his garden. But he stopped doing any real exercise, thinking his everyday activities were enough. Slowly, tasks that once came naturally became tiring. Then one afternoon he stumbled on a rug and fell, hard. His hip fractured. The recovery was long, painful, and left him more dependent than he ever thought he'd be. It wasn't just the fall, it was the years of slow decline that made him vulnerable. Now compare that to someone like Joan, a woman in her 80s who spends just 20 minutes a few times a week doing light exercises with resistance bands and stretching. She's not training for a marathon, but she's still walking confidently, managing her own home, and even dancing occasionally with friends. Her secret? She didn't give up on her body. The good news is, it's never too late to begin. Even if you've never exercised before, you can start now. Chair squats, gentle leg lifts, standing heel raises, or seated stretches can reawaken strength you forgot you had. Walking is wonderful for the heart and mind, but by itself it's not enough. Your body needs resistance and movement that builds and preserves. So here's a gentle reminder: include strength and mobility exercises in your weekly routine. Not for vanity, not for competition, but for the simple joy of rising with ease, walking with confidence, and holding on to something we all cherish deeply: independence. Because in our later years, independence is everything. Number 4. Skipping regular health checkups. A risk you can't afford. As we get older, it's easy to believe that if we feel fine, we must be fine. And for many, that assumption becomes a habit, one that can quietly and dangerously rob us of the healthy years we hope to enjoy. But here's the truth: some of the most serious health issues in later life develop without any symptoms at all. High blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, even certain cancers. These conditions can quietly progress for years without causing pain or discomfort, until suddenly something happens and everything changes. Regular checkups are not just about treating problems, they're about catching them before they start to steal your strength, your energy, and your independence. Sadly, too many seniors wait until something feels wrong to see a doctor. Some pride themselves on being low maintenance or having always been healthy. Others avoid appointments because they find them stressful or inconvenient. But waiting is risky, because once symptoms appear, the damage may already be done. Let me share the story of Harold, a vibrant 72-year-old who hadn't seen a doctor in over a decade. "I feel great," he would say. "Why bother?" But one morning as he rose from bed, he collapsed. The reason? Severe hypertension, completely undiagnosed, that had led to a stroke. What might have been a simple, manageable condition had gone unnoticed for years, leaving Harold dependent on a walker and daily assistance for basic tasks. Now contrast that with Ellen, 75, who made it a point to schedule a yearly checkup, even when she felt fine. A routine blood test showed early signs of prediabetes. With a few lifestyle changes, tweaking her diet, adding gentle daily walks, she turned things around. No medications, no complications, and most importantly, no loss of independence. That's the quiet power of prevention. So what should you be doing? At the very least, schedule an annual checkup that includes blood pressure screening, cholesterol and blood sugar tests, bone density tests to check for osteoporosis, routine cancer screenings like colonoscopies, mammograms, or prostate exams depending on your history and age. These tests are not just boxes to check. They're your early warning system, your best defense against future suffering. And if something doesn't feel quite right, don't wait. A simple test today could prevent years of treatment, pain, or decline later on. Taking care of your health doesn't mean you're weak or worried. It means you're wise. It means you're protecting the life you've worked so hard to build, and giving yourself the best chance to enjoy it fully for as long as possible. If this message resonates with you, please comment number 4 below so I know you're still with us. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We're here to support you, step by step, with trusted advice and encouragement for a better, brighter future. Now let's move forward, because we still have more to discover together. Number 5. Eating too much or too little protein. When it comes to nutrition in later life, most people focus on the usual suspects: cutting back on sugar, reducing salt, or watching calories. But one of the most overlooked and yet most essential elements for healthy aging is something far simpler, and often misunderstood: protein. Protein isn't just for athletes or bodybuilders. It's the building block of strength, energy, and healing. It supports your muscles, repairs your tissues, and helps your immune system defend against illness. And as we grow older, our bodies actually become less efficient at using the protein we consume. That means we need more, not less, to maintain what we have. Unfortunately, many seniors begin eating less overall, either because of a smaller appetite, difficulty chewing, or digestive discomfort. And when the meals get smaller, protein is often the first thing to be left behind. The result? Weaker muscles, slower healing, and more vulnerability to infection. Let me give you an example. Carol, a thoughtful 76-year-old woman, had always tried to eat clean. When she heard that red meat wasn't ideal for older adults, she began cutting back, but didn't replace it with other sources of protein like eggs, legumes, or fish. Over time, her energy faded. Her skin became fragile. Small scrapes took weeks to heal. A blood test revealed low protein levels, which were quietly contributing to muscle loss and a weakened immune response. But here's the other side of the coin. Too much protein, especially from the wrong sources, can be just as damaging. John, 78, was determined to stay strong. After reading about protein's role in aging, he added large portions of red meat and protein shakes to his daily meals. Within months, he noticed bloating, fatigue, and trouble with digestion. Eventually, his doctor warned him. His kidneys were under strain. Too much protein, especially from processed or heavy animal sources, was stressing his system. So what's the balance? Experts recommend older adults aim for about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day, spread out across meals. But even more important than the number is the quality of that protein. Choose lean, wholesome options. Fish and poultry. Eggs and low-fat dairy. Beans, lentils, and legumes. Nuts and seeds. If you struggle with chewing or digestion, soft-cooked eggs, pureed legumes, or protein-rich smoothies can be gentle on the body while still nourishing. And remember, it's not about extremes. Not cutting it out. Not overloading. Just choosing wisely and staying consistent. By giving your body the fuel it needs, not just to survive but to heal and stay strong, you're investing in your strength, your stability, and your ability to live life on your own terms. Number 6. Poor sleep habits. The hidden saboteur of healthy aging. Many people grow older believing that it's normal to sleep less. It just comes with age, they say. But here's the truth. Quality sleep remains just as essential in your 70s and 80s as it was when you were 30. Sleep is not a luxury. It's not a sign of laziness. It's a biological necessity, especially in later life when the body and mind need more time to heal, restore, and protect themselves. And yet, poor sleep habits are quietly affecting the well-being of millions of older adults. Staying up too late, waking often through the night, relying on sleep medications that disturb the body's natural rhythms. These patterns don't just leave you tired. Over time, they accelerate aging, weaken the immune system, and increase the risk of cognitive decline. Why is sleep so important? Because while you rest, your body is hard at work, strengthening your immune system, regulating your blood sugar levels, repairing tissues and cells, and even clearing out harmful toxins from your brain, the very toxins linked to memory loss and dementia. Without this nightly renewal, your body struggles to bounce back from daily stress and strain. Inflammation builds. Stress hormones rise. Your risk of heart disease, stroke, and mood disorders grows. And memory? It starts to slip, not because you're just getting older, but because your brain never had the chance to recover. Let me tell you about Nancy, an 80-year-old woman who had always been a light sleeper. Over time, her sleep became so fragmented that she rarely got more than 4 hours a night. She brushed it off, believing it was just part of aging. But gradually, she became more forgetful. Her mind felt foggy. Anxiety crept in. A visit to her doctor revealed what she hadn't realized. Her lack of sleep was directly harming her nervous system and increasing her risk of Alzheimer's disease. Meanwhile, her friend George, 78, treated sleep as a priority, not a passive afterthought. He kept a regular bedtime, avoided screens before sleep, and did simple stretches each evening to calm his body. He didn't sleep perfectly every night, but he gave his body and brain the best chance to rest. The result? He woke up feeling steady, focused, and emotionally grounded. Studies confirm it. Older adults who consistently get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night not only feel better, they live longer, think clearer, and recover faster. So what can you do? Keep a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Avoid caffeine and alcohol in the evening. Both can disrupt deep, restorative sleep. Create a relaxing nighttime routine. Reading, soft music, gentle stretching, or prayer can help signal your body it's time to unwind. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. Cool, quiet, dark, and peaceful. These are the ingredients for better rest. And perhaps most importantly, don't ignore sleep problems. Pain, anxiety, frequent urination, or conditions like sleep apnea can quietly rob you of the rest you need. If you've spent years putting others first, here's your chance to give yourself something priceless: the gift of deep, healing sleep. Because when your nights are restful, your days become brighter, clearer, and full of possibility. If this resonates with you, please comment number 6 below. And if you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next insight. We're almost there, and the final mistake we'll discuss is one that almost everyone makes without realizing the lasting damage it can cause. Number 7. Relying too much on medications, when the cure becomes the burden. As we age, it's not uncommon for the list of prescriptions to grow. One pill for high blood pressure, another for cholesterol, something for arthritis, then something else to manage the side effects of the first 3. And while medications can be life-saving, there's a growing problem that often goes unnoticed. Many older adults end up relying on medications as quick fixes, while overlooking the lifestyle changes that could actually restore balance and health from the inside out. This over-reliance creates a domino effect. What starts as 1 or 2 prescriptions slowly becomes 5, 6, even more. And that's where the danger of polypharmacy, the simultaneous use of multiple medications, comes in. Drug interactions can cause confusion, dizziness, fatigue, digestive problems, and most alarmingly, a higher risk of falls and hospitalization. Yet, many seniors don't question whether every medication they're taking is truly necessary. Let me share a story about Henry, a 79-year-old man. He was first prescribed medication for high blood pressure. Not long after, he felt tired and weak, so his doctor added something to boost his energy. Then came the digestive issues, followed by another prescription. Eventually, Henry was taking 7 different medications and he felt worse than ever. It wasn't until a new doctor took a closer look that they discovered several of his symptoms were actually side effects, not new illnesses. When Henry started walking daily, eating a more balanced diet, and sleeping better, his blood pressure improved, and slowly he was able to reduce his medications. For the first time in years, he felt like himself again. Now contrast that with Margaret, 80, who approached things differently. With her doctor's guidance, she made lifestyle her first line of defense. She followed a heart-healthy diet, kept her body moving, and used mindfulness to manage stress. While she still took a few essential medications, she needed far fewer than most of her peers, and her quality of life remained high. Here's what research confirms. Older adults who prioritize lifestyle changes, like exercise, nutrition, sleep, and stress management, often experience better health, fewer complications, and greater independence than those who rely on medication alone. So what can you do? Review your medications regularly with your doctor or pharmacist. Ask, is this still necessary? Or, can this be managed with lifestyle instead? Make foundational habits your priority. Walk daily, eat real food, sleep well, stay socially connected, and practice calmness. Be your own health advocate. Ask questions. Learn about your options. Seek out natural alternatives when appropriate. You deserve to understand and participate in your care. Because here's a powerful truth. The fewer unnecessary medications you take, the better your body can function as you age. You'll think clearer, move easier, and feel more like yourself, not a list of prescriptions. Final thoughts. Aging doesn't mean fading. It means evolving. And with the right choices, we can grow into our later years not just with grace, but with strength, clarity, and purpose. Today we've explored 7 common lifestyle mistakes that quietly shorten the good years of life. But more importantly, we've uncovered the power you hold to change that story. Whether it's moving your body more, sleeping better, reconnecting with people, or rethinking how you use medications, small, consistent steps can completely reshape your future. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. It's choosing each day to support your mind, your body, and your heart. And no matter where you are in your journey, it's never too late to begin. You deserve to feel vibrant. You deserve to feel at peace. And you absolutely deserve to age on your own terms. If this video spoke to you, even just one part, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. Which of the 7 points resonated most with you? Was there one that felt especially timely or helpful? And if you haven't already, please subscribe and tap the bell icon. It helps us grow this channel and continue creating meaningful, supportive content for people like you, people who believe in living with intention, wisdom, and quiet strength. Lastly, if you know someone who could benefit from this message, a friend, a parent, a neighbor, please share it. Sometimes one conversation, one insight, one video can change everything. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'm deeply honored to be part of your journey. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You're worth it.